back with another episode of My Therapist Made Me Do This podcast with Mario and friends. I am, of course, Mario. Now, man, a video intro got a little choppy. I don't know what the hell happened, but we'll figure it out. Hopefully, it don't sound like this on the playback, but we'll figure it out as we go. Um, man, hello, world, people. Yes, I'm still alive. I'm still alive, man. In true Mario fashion, like I said, life, like I always say, life has been life, but in a good way, man. And that's kind of what the podcast is gonna be about. So if you're watching this, you'll see it kind of pop up boop, above my head. Um, Stepping into a new mental space, and one of the things that I have found to be groundbreaking is my way of shedding things and being exposed to just everything else. I'll get into detail a little later, man. Hey, well, let's do some programming notes, man. I'm super excited. Um, Man, so basketball season has officially started, which is uh fun but real time consuming, man. Whenever I talk to people and I tell them about, when they want to get into coaching basketball, like high school basketball, is so different from lower levels, man, because like we have film study, and normally the film study is like us, the coaches, watching film, then we break it down, then we have to go actually have the film study with the kids and scouting reports, and we just oh my god, we're doing everything, we're doing a lot of different things this year, but just to make us more prepared. You know what I'm saying? We won the region championship last year for the first time in school's history. We went 25-3 last year, lost in the final four. So there are a lot of teams. We had this real cool media day. That was super dope, man. They interview all the teams and stuff, and a lot of people's games. They think what are your most um, the games you're looking forward to, and a lot of teams got it circled on their calendar. So we got to elevate how we do stuff because people gunning for it. They gunning for the champs. They gunning for the champs. So first game was Friday against a very good team. Shout out Paradise Valley, man. Very good team. Just not good enough. So we we beat them 77-48, man. We beat up on them pretty good. So super excited, proud of the guys, man. They're working really hard this year. We've been really focusing on the importance of creating a culture in the program, and a lot of that is stemmed around mentorship, and there's a lot of stuff outside of basketball. I don't think people understand like coaching is so much bigger than just X's and O's. As the head coach always tells me, Mario's not about X's and O's all the time. It's about the Jimmys and the Joes. I mean, it's about the people. You know what I'm saying? Which kind of plays a lot into me and how I do things. So super dope, man. Super dope. Want to give a shout out to um my boy Mario, man. Mario Navarez the third. If you listen to the last podcast, I should have, man. I went back and listened to it. I was like, man, I should have broke this in two parts. Like I didn't realize it was that long. Pause. But man, an 18-year-old entrepreneur running a six-figure business, and if you listen to that episode, there was a part where we talked about his growth. And when I first met Mario, we were sitting on my porch while they were detailing my truck or whatever, and very religious kid, man. Like just super, like his assurance and his faith in God is so dope. Like he just like he knows these things are gonna happen. Like he don't even stress about it. And I think because life has showed him so many times, like man, you just do this, well, you'll be straight. We'll take you on the back end. So man, he made a goal by the end of the year that he was going to add like more employees, expand his business. Y'all, do y'all know in 2 weeks, might have been a week or two after he left this podcast, Mario went out and purchased a brand new truck, loaded it all up with all his stuff, you know what I'm saying? got a partner now, and now he's expanded his business to two trucks with an employee. And I was just like, I just sat back and laughed, man, because I said, man, this kid said this like he literally, like he spoke this into existence. And just eight, y'all, he 18. Listen, I have to keep saying that if you just go listen to that podcast, man, if you gotta listen to it in pieces, listen to it, man. But just remind yourself, this young man is 18 years old and has a six-figure business. And he went back to the school that he went to. If you didn't listen to it, he actually left brick and mortar school his junior year. Senior year, sorry, he did school online. So he forewent his senior year in school, didn't go to prom, homecoming, none of that. So to hear him go back to his school and do like this whole car wash for like he had a whole check his social media out, man. He had a whole parking lot full of cars that he was washing, and I'm just like, dog, this kid is amazing. Like, this kid is amazing. So super inspiring, man. Thank y'all for listening to that podcast, writing it out, man. It was fun, man. Me and Mario, I feel like I'm talking about myself. Me and Mario could have probably talked for another 2 hours. Like for real, for real. I'm attracted to people who have spirits like that. You know what I'm saying? Where they just really go get it. And this man, it's such a great transition to this episode. But man, like super, super duper proud of him, man. Um, yeah, I think I'm forgetting something. But anyway, like I said, this episode today is called "Stepping into a New Mental Space." And for those who don't know, or you're just listening for the first time, hello, welcome. Um, I am retiring next year from the military after 20 years of service. So I think Jesus, what was this November? January, the end of January will be my last working day. So I have to explain this to you because everybody thinks I'm retired now. And no, trust me, I'm not retired. Trust me, you would know when I'm retired. But so they have this program, might be the coolest thing ever. So it's called the Skills Bridge program. So let's say you want to be an IT person or you're looking into doing a career change when you get out. The military has a program set up where you can do an internship with the company your last 6 months in the military. So you literally like don't put on the uniform anymore. You don't even go to work. You literally go to a job as an intern for 6 months. Now you still get paid all your military pay, all that stuff. The only catch is the company can't pay you. Can't pay you. So yeah, so next I keep thinking of December. January will be my last full working month in the Air Force. And then 1 February I'll start a skill bridge program and I'll do that from 1 February to the time I retire. My retirement ceremony is gonna be in March. I'm super excited. I think I'm gonna live stream the podcast. So I should then just pop up and do like a last look. Ooh, that's not a bad idea. I don't know, we'll figure it out. But so yeah, I'm still in the military. I'm still in the military. I still have to wake up every Monday through Friday, unfortunately, and put my uniform on and deal with things. So just in a different space though. Like obviously I've given up my leadership position and all the things, so we've done turnover there, passed that over because I'm smart. Um, giving the new guy an opportunity to kind of get his feet wet. I have like an 8 month head start while I'm here. So if he has questions, so it's worked out beautifully. There are some things there are some things uh that I'm going through that I'll probably talk about closer to my retirement when I'm done working, man. You just man, and some of it I'll probably kind of hit in this episode too. But man, people are interesting. I will say that, and I think most people listening to this podcast also understand that people are incredibly interesting. I'll just leave it at that. Now, before let me sip some water because this is gonna be good. Live, this is live. Live water drinking. All right, there we go. All right. Although I haven't been potting every week, um, I do take a lot of mental notes, right? And man, if I could show you, I can show you my little notes folder from an iPhone. You got the little notes or whatever. So I've started. I guess some people will even consider this journaling, but I have kind of redirected how I handle things in life. And part of it is actually the class I'm taking right now called oh my god, what's the name of the class? It's an exploration of well being. And my professor doesn't realize that she's doing God's work. But man, it has just got me in the space of changing how I do things. Now I get into that when I talk about I hit some of my notes. But man, I've learned that when I'm going through situations, right, instead of just blowing up, I just grab my phone. I kind of write out what the problem is. Whether I'm right, I'm wrong, somebody else is right, somebody else is wrong. And I write down a lesson from all of it. And I've been going through this situation where, I'm in this space now, like I said, I'm retiring. So man, it's really kind of keep my head down, my head low, man. I kind of moved in this smaller office with one of our nurses. And yeah, we just kind of do the things, man. We knock out the job and then we go home. Like, you know what I'm saying? I don't bother nobody. Hell, I don't think half the people know what my office is right now. Which is good. You know what I'm saying? Which is good. Um it has been interesting though. But yeah, man, so in the midst of these dealings, and I'm gonna have another one of these episodes or situations come up tomorrow that I'm already mentally prepared for, but I just kind of write down notes, and then one day, man, I really just kind of let the pen go, so to speak, and I just wrote like a letter to myself, and it was almost like an affirmation, and I was like, man, I'm writing this down for a reason. I don't know why. So I'm gonna read it to y'all before we get into the point, and I ain't gonna be long. I ain't gonna be 2 hours, I promise. But man, I just feel like this was too good to keep to myself, so I had to share this with everybody. All right, enough of me talking about all the other stuff. Here we go. Stepping into a new mental space. There's a moment in life when you realize you don't think the same way you used to, not because something dramatic happened, but because you happened. You changed quietly, gradually, almost without even noticing. And then one day, you look around at your life, the conversations you're having, the things you're choosing, and you think, dang, I ain't in the same place anymore. This new mental space can feel both peaceful and strange, like walking into a room with open windows after spending years in a crowded hallway. There's more air now, more stillness, more awareness. But with that awareness comes an odd kind of discomfort. You start letting go of old habits, old identities, even old ways of reacting. And it can feel like loss even when it's growth. Well, you don't know how much I'm going to say right now. There's a grieving that comes with becoming someone new, a gentle release of who you were so you can step into who you're becoming. And maybe the hardest part of all, some people won't understand your new space. They'll remember you the way you were, your old patterns, your old limits, your old stories. But you're not there anymore. And that's okay. Not everyone is meant to travel with you into this next chapter. The beautiful thing about being in a new mental space is that you get to choose what you bring with you. You get to decide what still serves you, what still nourishes you, what still aligns with the person you're growing into. Maybe that's the real gift. Realizing you're allowed to outgrow, to shift, to evolve without explaining, without apologizing for it, without shrinking back into who you used to be. So if you're listening and you feel that quiet shift happening in your mind, if you feel yourself changing in ways you can't fully articulate yet, just know it's okay to take your time in this new space. It's okay to explore it slowly. It's okay to honor the parts of you that brought you here, even as you gently release them. Growth isn't always loud. Sometimes it's a whisper, a soft knowing, a steady unfolding. And maybe, just maybe, this new space is exactly where you were meant to be all along. Wow. Told you, man, I be having stuff on my mind, man. So let's get into this, man. What does a new mental space actually mean? So one of the things I've talked about on this podcast before is when people talk about um, protecting their peace or healing or being in this new space, um, there has to be some kind of breakdown of shedding of things, people, processes. There has to be some form of conflict, something that happens that causes some kind of resolution for you. And a lot of it starts with you recognizing that you've outgrown like old mental patterns. And for me, I think one of the biggest things I've noticed is that being in this retirement space, man, you take a you take an odd step back, man. And it's so hard to explain to people who have never been in this situation before, like what that feels like. Because now you're not a character in the game anymore. Like you're not I'm not trying to get a promotion. I'm not trying to win awards. I'm not trying to advance to more responsibility. I'm actually taking a step back from those things. And I think I've said this before, but every time you start taking a step back, the more you start to see people and behaviors and habits. I mean, I would find myself sometimes coming home talking to my wife, and I'm like, hey, like, have I always been like this? You know what I'm saying? Like, have I? Like, was that me? And I just didn't notice it. And I think that's when you realize, like, you start noticing the signals that you need to shift. And I think as I started taking a step back, I still enjoy being in the mix. You know what I'm saying? Being in, I need to know what's going on. But man, the more I was around this new group of people, this new way of thinking, these new protocols, processes, and how we did things, I was like, man, like this ain't it ain't even like uncomfortable, but it's just like, man, this ain't right. Like this ain't, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, man, maybe I'm turning into the old guy at work, and I'm just like, man, we used to do that back in my day. I don't know. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe that's what it is. But I found myself realizing that, man, for like so long, I have been in like this same emotional loop, right? And going back to this class that I'm taking, an exploration of well-being. So the class really is, man, it's a great. I ain't gonna lie. If you could just take a random class, I would 100% recommend you take this class. So you have to print out these like wellness cards, and they're broke off in different categories like connection, insight, communication. There's another one. And basically every day, every week, you pull a random card. You pull two random cards, and then you pull no, sorry, you pull two intentional cards, and then you pull one random card. And the cards basically give you little activities on like little experiments, right? So for example, one of the experiments told me to just walk around for 5 minutes. And it sounded stupid. Like I was like, this shit is dumb, but I'm gonna do it because I need to make an A in class. Um, but man, the more I kind of read into it, it was like, you know, don't take a phone, that like walk slow, like just take in everything, like sight, sounds, smells, your feelings, your emotions. Like it was like real. It turned into a real heavy experiment. So one of the biggest things I learned was that I I move really fast, but not like from a running standpoint, but man, like we go about life so fast that we miss some of like the greatest like internal moments ever. And if we just took a minute to just kind of slow down, you'd be surprised at how much clarity you get from doing it. Instead of just, we're always a society of like go, 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 go. Man, what if I just slow down and just enjoy this moment? Like enjoying this space. And it was man, it was I started looking at trees, leaves, people walking their dogs. And it's like it gave me such a renewed sense of purpose. This is gonna sound crazy, but I promise you, just go outside, don't take your phone. Yeah, walk around your yard and just listen and just like man, it's the most randomly therapeutic thing ever. I want to talk to my neighbor. She's kind of weird, but I don't talk to her. But I saw her outside one day, and I was wondering. I was like, I bet you that's what she was doing. Like she was in the front yard, and she literally was just walking the yard in a circle, real quiet. Like she didn't say nothing. Like if you weren't paying attention, you was like, okay, she's just walking the yard. Like it was nothing like wild or anything like that. But man, like you could just she would stop every few moments and she would look up and you could see her just taking in the moment. But then when I did it for this experiment, I said, man, like this is like I felt refreshed. Like it's almost like you get a brand new like a good massage, man, like a good spa treatment or something like that. So I realized that man, a lot of times because I'm moving so fast, a lot of my creativity or clarity gets really clouded. And if you know me, man, you know I'm a thinker, man. Not an overthinker, but man, I just have the most random thoughts at the most random times. I ain't as bad as my wife. Like she be talking to herself. She be having whole full fledged podcasts in her mind, but out loud. It's kind of crazy, but it works for her. Um, but man, I'll be at a rate like, and I'll just get like the wildest revelation on something. And I feel like a lot of those things come because I actually take the time to just be in the moment, like not worry about what's going to happen next, be in a rush to go due to the next thing that's going to occupy my time or increase my stress. I just be in the moment sometimes. I just kind of vibe. Sometimes I had a music off, which is rare, but I had a music off. I just be vibing, man. So when it comes to that, like when you build on that, like then we get into like curating this new mental space that you're in, and you start choosing thoughts that help but not harm. So one of the experiments I had for my class was to explain a situation that negative or stressed you out, and instead of talking about how it made you mad, talk about the lesson in it instead. So explain the story, explain the situation, talk about all the stuff that transpired. But instead of coming to the conclusion that man, like it's really pissed me off and I just wanted to crash out, you formulate a lesson. And the more I start reading into it, man, like it really breaks down on like a molecular level. Like in your brain, there's literally a part of your brain. Oh my god, I wish I remember the name of it, but there's a part of your brain where you almost speak things into you. Like you know how people say you speak things into your life. Man, it's so true. Like you can speak negativity like into your life, and even to the point where things like this, like instead of like saying, "Hey, I want to be mad at this. I'm gonna blah blah blah." Man, if you start looking at things like, "Man, like this is a great lesson I learned because I went through da da da," it really starts to change your brain's way of processing thoughts and giving you conclusions. Like it is the craziest thing I have ever seen before. So I started asking myself, especially when I'm at work, man, and like I'm not distant from people. I just don't go out of my way to be around people. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't. Not antisocial. I just kind of move and kind of do my own thing. And one day I kind of asked myself, 'Cause people like when they find out where I work at, when they find out where my office is, they'll come in and be like, "Well, hello, we ain't seen you in a while." I said, "Man, I've been around, same been working in the same place for 4 years, like ain't changed." And the one thing that people talk about is, how they feel like, this is going on or that is going on. I missed this, I missed that. And I was like, man, I don't really give a shit about none of that, to be honest. And then I had to stop myself. I was leaving work one day and I got in my truck. I said, man, who am I becoming? Like legit, who am I becoming? Because the things that I entertain or just cared about, I don't anymore. And when I did that, I started realizing it wasn't. It was more so of who am I becoming versus who have I been. And so instead of like comparing myself to like why these things matter, like man, like why am I becoming this? You know what I'm saying? But then I'm starting to get more mental clarity on things. Man, like there's people that work just like, man, Mario, this is the happiest we've ever seen. And I'm like, man, it's because I've created this new space of erasing all that bullshit. So, I was just like, man, like energies, like people, just and not so much people that that I work with to give me, have issues or problems. It just kind of comes with the territory. But man, just dealing with people that don't directly work with me's problems. You know what I'm saying? Um, Trying to get away from making other people's problems my problem. And when I hate to say stop caring, but like I became more of a listener instead of a suggestion giver. Oh my god! Like man, you can walk in my office crying right now. I will listen to you. I'll be the greatest listener you'll ever have in your life. I'm like, all right, man. Well, I hope you figured out, dog. You need something, let me know. But yeah, man, sounds like you got some decisions to make. And then I'm on to the next one, as JG said. So I think when it comes to me and being in a better mental space, man, I look at sessions of therapy I had. So my therapist, shout out to Ginka, she just left, man. She just left and like took another job. So I'm like super duper sad. And, I'm in that space where I'm like, all right, I'm about to retire. So should I try to find another therapist now? Or let me try to really apply some of this real world, I'm saying, things that I've learned that kind of help me, deal with triggers and things. And man, like it's actually been it's actually pretty interesting how a lot of this has worked. And I've just learned like man, a lot of the I hate to call them episodes, but like situations I've had as it pertains to like my mental health being up down. And I like to listen to some of my older podcasts when I'm like going through stuff. And there's actually somebody that came to my office like a couple weeks ago and was like, man, I heard this podcast and it felt like you were like super angry because you was talking about Billy the blank. I said, well, I don't call names. I just merely speak on situations. Um, but when I went back to listen to that on my way home, I was like, man, I like to listen to an episode I do at the beginning of the year, and I like to listen to one I have at the end of the year just to see what my growth is. Not as a podcaster or a content, but just as a person, man. Like, how do I handle situations versus 2 years ago when I would be angry and like, you know what I'm saying? Like, just really seeing if I'm applying the things that I've been learning to my life. And one of the things that I've learned the most in this space is that I have been so burnt out from like work. It is crazy, man. Like I have overly dedicated so much of my life and time and effort and energy into people and even like sometimes situations that like didn't serve me anything, man. I'm like, man, and it sucks that when you get to that point where you just feel like you're in it, like workaholic as we call them. I don't know myself a workaholic, but started doing like stupid shit, like bringing my laptop home, like doing work and stuff like that. And I just like, man, like once I stopped doing it, and I just like, man, listen, this shit gonna be what it's gonna be. You know what I'm saying? I'm always trying to try my best, especially when it comes to taking care of people. I'm always trying to put my best foot forward. I'm gonna do that. But I'm like, man, I'm giving so much of my tank of gas, so to speak. I'm burning so much of my tank of gas on work and people's situations, people's problems. Trying to make sure I'm doing the right thing to be in a line to space to. I'm like, man, by the time I get home, I don't even have no time for myself. And then mind you, I got a wife, 3 kids, you know what I'm saying? So they have demands and things that they expect out of me. And I'm like, man, I am giving so much of myself. Hell, even basketball. Like, man, I'm giving so much of myself work. Like it's like it's like it's legitimately like unhealthy. And the more I step back, I can't say this enough. The more I step back, the less burnt out I was. I remember talking to one of the people just kind of over all the medics in the hospital, and I remember her telling me she would always pop in and check on me, even when I was at like the lowest point of my military career. Like I would come to work, sit in the parking lot, and just stare at the building. Like if it all blows up today, I can just go back home and not have to worry about coming back. But I would just walk in and be in such a mood, man. And like, no matter how much I tried to fight it, man, I come, smile, okay, hey, what's up, guys? What's up? Y'all see the game man? Like, doing all the things. But man, people who've been around me a lot, they saw through all that bullshit. Like, they saw through all that bullshit. But one of the things that um, really stuck out to me, and I had to really process a lot of, not process, but just do a lot of soul searching. That this lady came to my office and she closed the door and she's like, "Man, like I'm so glad to see you in this new space that you're in." And we kind of laughed about it. We talked about like retirement and all that kind of stuff. And I'm like, "Man, I'm retiring." She's like, "No, you don't understand, Mario. Like I thought that you were going to kill yourself." I started laughing and like she literally was like straight facing me like, "No, no, seriously, Mario. Like I really thought that you were going to kill yourself." And I said, "Shit, why you say that?" She was like, "Man, I've never seen you be at such a point where you just look so different every day." I never forget, man, this lady was one of the first people to come to my office. And like, in the morning, you go upstairs and it's just meeting with all the leadership, right? So, you just brief kind of what's going on in your section. Um, and I remember her coming downstairs and she said, "Mario, like the energy that you're giving off is palpable right now." And I'm like, "What you mean? I'm just sitting here chilling." And like she was like, "No, no, 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 no. People can see it. Like the mood of people around you had completely changed because of it." And I really, and honestly, that's honestly a part of like really creating my own mental space, man. Because the best advice I got from this lady, man, uh, I won't say her name, but she'll know it when she hears it. But she told me one day, she pulled me in her office and she said, "Mario, like, can I just tell you something? Like, everybody's been talking about, like, is Mario okay? Is he okay?" And she said, "Well, has anybody went to check on him?" And, people like, "Oh, normally he's cracking a joke or he's saying something that makes people laugh." And she said, in that moment, she said, "Mario, I want you to know something from the bottom of my heart. It is not your responsibility to be people's source of happiness." And when she said that, I literally almost cried. And it wasn't because I don't know if I felt like that, but man, I don't like people being in a bad mood around me. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like it's annoying. Like what I'm saying? I don't like people being in a bad mood. But I'm like, man, at the end of the day, like all this bullshit is gonna be over. We can go and leave. And this is even in my own space of like hating coming to work every day, like absolutely hating it. And this, we won't even get into the political climate of what's going on right now, 'cause that just made shit way worse. But man, when she told me, I mean, she was looking me dead in the eyes, and it felt like she was talking to my soul. Like, man, it is not your responsibility to be people's source of happiness. Like, people shouldn't be. People are upset because you're not coming to make their shitty moment good because they're having a bad day. They're just used to you doing this. Like, that ain't your responsibility. Like you shouldn't put the responsibility of making 500 and some people that work in this building happy. You shouldn't make that like your priority at all. I'm like, damn. I just looked at her like, is that what I've been doing? She's like, apparently, because everybody's so concerned about you, but they're not concerned about if you're okay. They're concerned because you aren't making them happy. No, I never really, I never really thought about that. You know what I'm saying? So I just, man, just it was such a practical turning point in my life, man. Where I just like, like I can't live like this, man. Like, and it goes back to like therapy a long time ago, and for some reason, like I still have little pieces of that trying to be Superman to everybody. It kind of pops up every now and then. But, I have to keep telling myself, like, Mario, you can't be Superman to everybody. Every now, man, like I'm genuinely counting down to the day till I'm up and out the military. Like, I tell people all the time, like, I look forward to the stupidest shit. Like, people don't even think about. I think I talked about this before. Like, man, I want to yell at my son and go take him to school. Like, you know what I'm saying? I want to get up and make him breakfast, not being in a rush to run out the house. You know what I'm saying? My son just want to spelling bee. I want to go to the spelling bee. You know what I'm saying? I want to do shit like that. They had a little trial at school. His English teachers had a little trial at school. They got to plead their case for you. I'm like, man, I want to be there for those. You know what I'm saying? Like those type of things. I'm like, man, I just But the faster I get out of here, the better, man. So I just kind of count down the days, but man, that's when I realized, like, going back to that part about peace, man. Like, I, if you disagree, you let me know. But you cannot truly have peace. You can't operate in chaos or just be surrounded by foolishness out having some kind of confrontation that gives you closure, give you that peace. You can't. You absolutely can't. I think part of it was that was my that was my restoration. When I had that conversation with her, I was like, man, shit. As much as I don't want to admit it, like, man, I don't come to work to please people. That ain't the fuck. Like, that ain't my thing. I'm like, man, maybe I have made it a habit of just being on for people all the time. Man, when I feel like I'm off, like, everybody's disappointed. Like, I'm like a goddamn show pony or some shit. Like, I just don't want to do shows no more. So, but yeah, like those things were really eye opening for me. And somebody walks up to you and tells you, like, I thought you were going to kill yourself. Like, man, that's different. Like, that's different. Like, that, you know what I'm saying? I won't sit here and tell you that there have been moments in my life where I'm like, man, oh, I don't know if people care if I was even here. And not on some I'm gonna kill myself type shit, but I don't know. It's weird. That's just the space I was in. But man, the fact that I allowed a situation, a place, a person drive me to the where I was so checked out. And somebody thought like they would literally like would tell me like, man, I would come to work to check on you, but it was really just to make sure you were still alive. I'm like, man, I would tell you something. I know some great people that have been through situations where they have tried or thought about um ending their life, man. Not just it's not something I play with for real, but man, I don't know a scenario if I where I would ever be that bad, but then again, from the people I know, probably felt the same way. You know what I'm saying? But man, that just really kind of rocked me to my core, and that's not realizing, like, man, I have to really start like going back to not just curating my own happiness, but curating this new space. Right? Say, man, oh water, man, I'm talking to. But that's when I told myself in the car one day, like, man, I need to start asking myself, who am I becoming instead of who have I been? Because the old me is the old me, you know what I'm saying? And there's still bits and pieces um, of my life that I still have to fine tune and figure out as I come in this new space. And honestly, the closer I get to retirement, the happier you gonna see your boy. So, man, I'm gonna save all these other points for another time, man. I just really felt like I wanted to come and just kind of chat with the people, man. 'Cause I really felt like people need to hear this. Oh boy, my God. Excuse me. I want to leave y'all with this. Hey, I hope that everybody got. I hope that everybody got somebody. I think I was just joking. But I want you guys to remember this. You are allowed to reinvent the place that you live inside. You are allowed to evolve. You're allowed to change your mind, your habit, and your direction. I hope this episode was entertaining for people, kind of. And I just want y'all to know this episode is for everybody stepping into a new chapter and refusing to shrink back. Life's too short. I say that a lot. I always tell people, create memories, do the thing. You know, life's too short, man. Life's too short to have people, problems, processes stress you out. Use that example that I had from this class I got an 88 in right now. But man, when you start going through things, talk it out, but then end it with the lesson that you learned. I'm thinking about retribution, get back, none of that shit. Really, just think about the lesson that you learned from being in that moment. Use that to grow instead of use to crash out on people. That's Mario's useless assistance for the day. Um, podcast notes. All right, parting shots before I get out of here. Congratulations to my wife, man. She over here sleep on the couch, y'all. She is knocked out, like slump. I wish I could turn the camera on and point at her, but she'll kill me later for it. Um, she's now like the I don't know, child. You know, she's in the sorority, so she's like the regional protocol person. I don't know, it's some big deal, but anyway, they always doing big things in her sorority, so I'm always proud of her and the things that she does. Want to give a shout out to my boy Adrian. My Respectfully Disagree podcast. Man, I think it was has been this week or last week. Um, it was anniversary of his mom's passing, and man, you know it's crazy. Like the people who you connect with, man, and like I don't know, I just had this weird thing now with like like people I just have a lot of respect for, just good people, man. He just him and his family just live a fun life, dog. It's just this is cool, man. Like I'm like, dang, we need to start doing that now. Man, I really kind of, prayed for him and his family. Man. I can't imagine what he's going through. He's such a happy-go-lucky guy. Like for the most part, he's the worst gambler I've ever met in my goddamn life. But you know what I'm saying. So I just want to send prayers to him and his family. Um, because I know that's not fun. That anniversary ain't fun either. Man, I think about my grandmother passed, man. And I just had like these random breakdowns, and I was telling, oh my god, I was watching this thing. Uh, man, Shannon Sharp did, and he was talking about the guy, this NFL player that just like unfortunately like took his life, and he was talking about his grandma, and he was saying like how he would love again, like all this, like he wouldn't love the same as he did, man. And he said, like sometimes I just curl up in a ball and just cry like, man. I said, man, like I've gotten better now. You know what I'm saying? But man, it got to the point where I would be at work and like people were talking about like their grandparents visiting, and I would literally have to go to the bathroom and cry. Um, but man, I know how much my grandmother means to me. I still think she's probably the source of my retirement speech. I really, what I'm saying, I feel like that lady, even in her transition, has really kept her hand over me and stopped me from doing a lot of shit that I want to do. So prayers to my God, man. Definitely go check out his podcast. I respectfully disagree podcast. Definitely go support my guy. Man, Willie and Fiona. So listen, we were so even though I haven't been making podcasts in a couple weeks, me and Jeff still listen to podcasts. So it's always funny. It's always the same scenario. Like if I'm in the bed, like normally, like me and Jessica in the bed, and then like normally I just kind of I listen to the thing about this podcast because then we'll pause and just start talking. You know what I'm saying? Like having our little conversations or whatever. So we listen to the thing about us podcast with Willie and Fiona, and they called me out. They called me out. Uh, so yeah, man, I need to be intentional about sending Willie a message this week. See, if we can get on his pod, man. Man, this is the honest to God truth. Willie, I know you listen to this podcast. What's up, bro? Man, I want to put this out here. I'm gonna put it out here, man. I be looking at that League of Kings podcast, man. I be like, man, I'll put some good insight on that. Man, I can shed some good light on something. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know. That's a story for another time. Maybe further on down the road. But yes, I did see y'all. I did hear y'all mention. I heard y'all's mention me, and man, I don't want to be no flake, man. But for real, like especially the closer I get to like being out of work, man. When I have a little more time, on nobody retired to, so you know what I'm saying. We definitely have to link up and collab on the episode, man. Or get the covers on. Well, maybe we do one with the guys first. Man. With the guys, man. We'll bring the ladies in after that. So, but yeah, man, definitely I will be intentional about sending you a message this week. You have my word. Hold me to that. If I don't do it, call me out. Tell me I'm the worst person in the podcast space and tell everybody to not listen to me because I deserve it. I need to be a man of my word. Um, man, my guy Clyde CO, man. Clyde, he uh, is the curator of CO and the Doctor podcast. No longer a thing. Just they just evolved to different spaces where they just do different things, which is cool. But man, he huge Colts fan like myself. Huge Colts fan. We lost to the Chiefs today. Football is rigged, but nonetheless, man, seeing him evolve in his new space. Most of the time, he done grew out his hair. I'm gonna tell you something. I ain't growing out my hair. I'm just not happening. But um, man, just seeing him traveling, you know, like covering, like the sports stuff and meeting people from all over the world. They on TV, they on the news, man. Man, walking into your purpose, bro. Walking into your purpose by definition. That's what it is. Ain't got to be no super heavy deep podcast, no my therapist, man. It ain't got to be that. But man, you can really see Big Five is in his element, and I love to see people. Uh, I love to see people just doing anything like that. So shout out to you, big bro. Um, I ain't too far behind you on this retirement deal. I can't. I gotta figure out. I ain't gonna lie to you. I gotta figure out what the hell I'm doing next. My wife keep hitting, and she was saying so like, whenever you figure out what you want to do next, I'm like, man, okay, I really be probably need to figure out what I want to do next. Man. I kind of got some options, but I don't know, man. This is a little different, like post retirement, man. This is like, man, I lock in on this one thing, though. I just want to do this like for the rest of my life, for like next like 20 or something years. I retire. I don't know, man. What y'all do for a living? I don't know. I figured out, but nonetheless, man. Thank y'all for listening as always, man. Um, keep creating memories. Um, and like I put on Facebook, I should have saved that message. Man, leave work at work, man. Like create what I like to call mental architecture when it comes to like boundaries, your intentions, and your values, man. Please don't be like me. Don't have nobody walking up to you thinking you was gonna kill yourself because you were just so cooked from being in the opportunity that you let it defeat you mentally. Not worth it. Not worth it at all. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Um, yeah, yeah.